Hello, hello. It's been a while since I've done like a get ready with me, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna do my hair. Excuse my open closet in the back there. Okay, so pin my hair out of the way here. So I'm gonna start with the P3, which is the Tory Bell Perfecting Primer. Okay, and I just use my hands for this. And I put some I've used a lot of different primers. There's a lot of different good ones out there. I really love Tory Bell's, obviously because I'm obsessed with Tory Bell, but also because I feel like it really smooths out my skin and fills in those fine lines and the different things like that in your deeper pores. So I can, whatever, you're cute. Thanks, babe. Okay, so I have my primer on. I'm going to use my mascara makeup today because I use it every day and I love it. With my darker circles under my eyes, I'm going to come in with my Mango and I'm going to put it right up under my eyes. I like to use a darker one to cover up unwanted colors because if you do a lighter, then it's like putting a white paper over a dark paper. You can actually see it really good. So if you do like a darker color over them, then you are not going to see those as much. Okay. Then I am going to go in with my regular highlight color. Come along the jawline here. Blend it up. When I use makeup without a primer, it just doesn't go on as smoothly for me, so it's a lot easier to blend everything if I have something that it can go over the top of. And then always make sure that you're going down your neck as well, because you really don't want to ever obviously have that line, that makeup line. Today I'm going to go a little bit less dramatic than I have in the past. So I'm not going to like contour or anything. I'm just going to use my bronzer. And I'm going to use the bigger end of my brush here. And I'm going to come up through there with my bronzer. It still does kind of contour me out a little bit because I'm pressing up my cheekbone through there. Coming down my neck. And then around your hairline, keeping your hair out of the way. Okay, take a little bit onto my nose, not a ton though. Usually I do use like a contour color, but today I just didn't want to. So I am going to go in though with my light colors and go up underneath my eye over the top. So I use the darker one to correct the unwanted colors, and then I come in through here with my lighter color. So you can see how that just starts to brighten it all up. Okay. Then I'll do a little bit of blush, nothing too intense just because I don't really want to do anything crazy. I'm loving pinks lately, so I'm going to do some of that. And that's all of it that I'm going to do for the face makeup today. I'm going to show you some colors with the Tory Bell eyeshadows. So we have our two palettes. You have your Flat Earth and you have your Space Out. Space Out is going to be more of like the shimmery colors, and Flat Earth is going to be more of your matte colors. Today I want to go more of a matte look. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my Sandstone color. Okay, it's a nice warm orangey color. Make sure my brush is clean here so I don't get all these colors on me. And I just want to warm up my whole eyelid with that. These are super, super pigmented, so I want to be careful that I don't get a ton on me and start looking really heavy. If you ever feel like you do have too much on you, you can go in and buff it out. But I feel pretty good about this today. Okay. I am going to use the chestnut color in the corner. So chestnut is going to be this nice light brown one. And just kind of dab it right there in the corner. I usually don't go too heavy on my eye makeup. I feel like it can get too much and then I don't like the way it looks on me as much. So that's all I'm going to do today. 2 colors, really, really easy. And then you can, if you want, just go in. I'm actually going to go over to the Spaced Out palette. That's all of our shimmers, and take a little tiny bit of the Venus color here. Okay, and just go right there and dab it on to brighten the inside of my eye. Okay, and voila. So there is our eyeshadows. When I'm done with all of that, I usually will go in with a highlighter. That sun is like super, super bright. Let me see if I can close my blinds a little bit so you can actually see me. Is that better? Okay. So I'm going to come in. I can actually see exactly what I was doing now. And I want to make sure that it's all blended, so I'm just going to soften all that. Little tiny circles to kind of buff it all out. You really don't need very much for like an everyday look. A little bit less is more. Then I'm going to take my highlighter, or no, sorry, not my highlighter, my illuminator. Okay, and I'm just going to come right through on my cheeks and just kind of brighten up right through there. Come down my nose and then on my Cupid's bow. Okay. All right. Now, for hair today, I am going to show you guys how I do mermaid curls and waves together. So this is freshly washed hair. I washed it last night before I went to bed, and I just blow dried the top of it. So I'm not going, oh, thanks, Ken. Okay, so I'm just going to, well, okay, so I would put mascara on as well. I guess I should do that if I'm going to do a full tutorial. So this is our 4D mascara. So it's the fiber mascara, but it's a 1-step. So I don't have to use 2 steps. I can just use the 1 fiber mascara. This is my favorite for every day because it really adds length and volume to my lashes. See how much thicker and darker they are? So this is my favorite mascara, and it doesn't flake, which is really, really nice, especially in a long day at the salon. I don't ever want, something is itching my nose. I don't ever want it to flake off and end up all over my cheeks. So Okay? Okay, and do a little bit on my bottom lash. Make sure they're all nice and separated so I don't have crazy. Okay, ta-da. Hair. So I'm going to show you guys how I do my waves and curls together. So again, freshly washed hair, and then I blow dry just the top of it because I just wanted it to be able to, hi Lena, hi Heidi, hi Kins. I wanted it to be able to dry and have some of like my natural wave in it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is from IGK, it's their styling primer. It's a newer one, so I'm excited to try it. I'm just going to put it all through my hair. Okay. And a styling primer can be good because it's also a heat protectant. So you want to make sure that you have a really good heat protectant in there if you're going to heat up all of your hair. Okay, so I'm going to split off my hair here. You can do this with short hair, you can do it with long hair. You would follow the same steps, but it obviously would just take a little bit less time if your hair is shorter. Okay, so I'm going to part my hair, use a little bit of this on it. Okay, I have my straightener, and I'm going to do my bottom layer with curls. My hair usually doesn't hold super great on the bottom layer anyway, so I don't get too stressed about it. It's just too heavy and it usually ends up being a little bit straighter down there. So it goes more to like a wave. So I'm going to curl this bottom layer of hair just with my beachy wave curls. So you always want to curl away from your face. And I'm going to come in on this side. I don't keep spinning the flat iron. I flip it over one time and I let it go down. Okay, you can see the steam coming off of it. If you don't have a heat protectant on your hair, then that could very well be your hair burning. So make sure that you always use a heat protectant. Your hair will thank you for it. I will thank you for it if I do your hair, because then I don't have to always figure out how to rehab your hair. Okay, so the bottom layer is curled as I drop everything. Okay, now I'm going to go to my next layer, and this is where I start going back and forth with everything I'm going to do. So I sprayed my heat protectant all the way through, and now I'm going to go on this side. We're going to wave it. So I'm going to go over the top and under. You can use like a 3-barreler for this. They have those bigger ones, but if you have a straightener, then you obviously have a 2-in-1. Okay, so I'm going to wave that one. And then my next piece, I'm going to curl. So creating the mermaid tassel look, always leaving your ends out. Okay. And then my next piece I'm going to wave again. So I'm just going back and forth with these now. I don't have to like open it up and move it a whole ton. It will just wave it on its own. And then go to my other side. Keep it even on both sides, whatever you do it, whatever time you do it. So like right here, I started with a wave, so I'm going to start on a wave on this side as well. Especially on these front little pieces, you want your heat protectant for sure, because you don't ever want to burn off your face framing pieces. You can see how I don't spin the iron, I just let it go all the way down. Okay. Okay. And then we switch it on the next one. So I lift my next layer down. Split it in the back and pull it over my shoulders so I can actually reach it. And I'm just going to take each little section coming forward and do that. So this one I'm going to curl in the back. Okay. and let that fall back in the back. And then my next one, I'm gonna do waves. So I'm just going back and forth all around my head to create a very, very tousled beach wave look. So I'm gonna go over and under. Where I let it air dry, I'm gonna have some natural wave going through it. And that's good. You want to have your natural wave. It's really a good way to embrace whatever natural wave you have. If you don't have natural wave and you mostly just have like really straight hair, then that's fine too. You won't have to worry too much, but at least you have the option to embrace that natural wave if you want. I don't have a ton of natural wave in mine, but I do have I have a lot of hair. So when I sleep with it semi-wet, it usually ends up like wrapped all together, and that's what's going to create more of like that natural wave feel to it anyway. So remember, right by your face, you got to keep your tension the same the whole way through. Okay. So we started with waves on that layer, which means I'm going to start with a curl on this layer. So I curled it, and now this little bit right here is going to be waved. So I come under and over, just flipping the iron, keeping it clamped the whole time. But you want to move pretty consistently, because if you don't and you let it sit there, then you're going to burn your hair. So just make sure that you're moving consistently throughout the hair, leaving your ends out. And then I'm going to curl it. So again, just going back and forth with what I'm doing the whole way around. Leaving out my ends so that I don't burn up my ends ever. Because I curled that one, this one's now a wave one. Different textures in your hair can be really fun to play with, because then you don't worry so much about the perfect uniformity of like your curls, because there's different textures going through. So if curling your hair isn't your forte and it's really starting to frustrate you or whatever, switch it up and add in some waves in there, and you can keep practicing your curls without getting frustrated with it, because you have other textures. Okay. As I get towards the top, I'm going to do a little bit of smaller layer, like amounts of hair in the layers, just so that I can have a little bit more texture in there. I'm actually going to spray the tops of it a little bit more with my styling primer. For those of you just joining, we are doing mermaid curls today. Okay, so this layer I waved, the next layer I curled first, so I'm going to wave on this one. And that can create some really good volume at the base too for me, and that's really good. I'm going back and forth with each new piece of hair that I pick up. Holding that hair out and just going right down the shaft of the hair. You want to make sure that you see I'm coming down to the ends there, and I'm going to leave those out. And then I just roll it in the curl, like twist it in the direction of the curl I just made, so it can cool in the curl. So I curled that one. This one's going to be a wave. Coming all the way down the hair. I'm going to start on this side now. Right up next to the head with that little first wave. And because I'm coming like that away from the head, I actually am creating volume in there, which is good. We want volume going through our hair. So, okay, this piece I'm going to curl. I'm going to curl it away from my face, leaving my ends out. And then this piece I'm going to wave. On shorter hair, this is super fun because it gives so much texture to the hair and makes it feel really, really full. Okay, now with this last piece, it comes off the back of my head. So when I go to curl the back of my head, I take my iron up top and do one complete circle with it, and then I just pull straight back. Try and stay in the frame for you guys. Okay. And then just let it lay down. So I'm on my last section of hair. I'm going to comb that part out and just kind of let it fall where it wants to. Okay. Give it a nice little spray of my primer, heat protectant. Okay, so next to your face, I want you guys to take just this top little section. You have your little bang area. And I want you to come like this and then just softly pull straight down. Okay, and that's going to give you that fresh little curl right off your face. We're going to take pretty small sections going around. And I'm going to do 2 curls on the top just because I like more of a curled look on the top of my head. But then this one, I'm going to wave because it's far enough off of my face that it won't bother me. This is a great look if you're going to be doing like family photos on the beach or something, or family photos where it's maybe going to be windy, things like that. The beach has salt in the air, you know, different things to take into account is where you're going to be photographed. So you can see how it starts to look really, really beachy and messy. You want to make sure that you compensate for all of those different things with your hair wherever you're going to be. I'm going to do one right here with a curl. Okay, so now I'm going to come to this other side of my head, take that front little triangle part again, flip my iron, and then just give it a little bit of wave in the front. I'm going to do 2 of those again, so that I get those front pieces nice and curled. So put your thumb on the top on your right hand side if you're right-handed, and you can keep the tension really well as you go down. Okay, and then it curls it better. This is a little bit thicker of a piece, so I'm actually going to split it, especially because it's toward the top of my head, so I can actually get some really good volume. This one I'm going to curl because right under it was a waved piece. Okay, so now for the very top, I'm going to split that section into 2, and I'm going to wave this section. And then I'm going to curl this last little piece. Okay, so I'm going to make sure, looks like that little piece got left out. So I'm going to curl that one since it's next to that wave. Okay, so then I just go in and I'm just gonna mess the curls up. And that's where you're gonna get your beachy, messy wave look. You have some that are curled, some that are waved, and it's gonna give it like a very, very hippie, beachy waved feel, okay? I am then going to take probably some salt spray again, but you can use your same, like the styling primer, and just go through. That's gonna give it some good texture as well. Okay, I'll take a picture and show that final. But remember, each section you're gonna start with different ones than you did the section before, and you're gonna show each one each time. You're gonna flip back and forth. So I started with curls on the bottom. The next section I did waves, and then I did curls and waves, back and forth across the whole head. And then you get it to the top, and you have your really beachy look. Okay, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Thanks, guys.